If there was one paint can, there was 25.
Yeah.
I walk up to the shed and there was stuff everywhere.
Yeah, empty and clean, and the lawn should be mowed. We can write all those things in agreements. We shouldn't have to. So we have to do that. And then on closing day, what do you do if you're a buyer in that situation, your buyer's agent in that situation? Because closing day should be a really exciting day for your buyer.
Absolutely.
And if you're fighting about a cleaning fee, a holdback with the lawyers, and it's going back and forth, it gets less exciting. It kind of puts a pall on it.
Yeah. And if something happens at closing, the two agents need to work together, not the lawyers. Let's us work together, make it go away for both parties.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Real Talk in Halifax. We are going to be talking about closing day, possession day, and how should a seller leave a house for a buyer? How should they, Denise?
Empty and clean, and the lawn should be mowed. We can write all those things in agreements. We shouldn't have to, but to be careful, you should. But sometimes when you're in competition, you want to keep the agreement as clean as possible, so you don't write in professional cleaning, you don't write in lawn mowed, and you just hope that they do it. But I think as listing agents, we should ensure it's clean, and if that means we hire cleaners for all our listings, because the interpretation of clean varies too much amongst people, and it needs to be clean, like the baseboards need to be done, the light switches need to be done. But so do that, and that'll make sure that it's done professionally. If you, as a listing agent, contact the buyer's agent, say, do you want to leave us touch-up paint? Leave the touch-up paint in the current colors. Do not leave 25 cans of paint.
Yep.
And scrap wood, and an old dehumidifier.
No.
And a couple hard hats.
We close on our house on Thursday. Mm-hmm. And every bit of artwork that we had, little tiny filler, and everything was rolled out. Had the house, professionally cleaned by a company, because I want and the grass mowed. What's today? Wednesday. Tuesday. The grass is going to be mowed tomorrow.
Yeah.
And they take possession on Wednesday or Thursday, because I want them to come in and be comfortable.
Yeah.
And to be happy. And not to have anything being tied up. Like, we were even pulling weeds out yesterday out of the garden and cleaning the pool, because it's how you wanted to hand the key over, and it's how I want a key to be handed over to me. And we talked about bad closings. I was at one yesterday. Well, Sacred Heart of God. If there was one paint can, there was 25.
Yeah.
I walk up to the shed and there was stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
And what was interesting, because I knew this guy had a lot of crap. And when I was writing the offer, and I'm like, he's going to need more than a month to clean that up.
Yeah.
Let's give him 2 months. And they came back and wanted to close in 30 days.
Yeah.
And I said to the agent, I'm like, how are they having the time to make sure that's done? Because there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh no, he said he's good.
Yeah.
So we get out there yesterday. Grass is not mowed.
Yeah.
When I asked for it. I still had to, the agent said she was going to go back out there last night and do videos for me to make sure that everything was gone. Like, I was mortified that you had this long, you wanted this closed.
Yeah.
And you know what? I put in 6 a.m. that they have to be vacated.
Just to make sure.
Just so I can go in the night before, because I just don't want anything to be held up.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I think as listing agents, we have to actually go to the property, because a couple of fairly recent closings I had, there's no way the agents went through the property before closing. They couldn't have. So we have to do that. And then on closing day, what do you do if you're a buyer in that situation, your buyer's agent in that situation? Because closing day should be a really exciting day for your buyer.
Absolutely.
And if you're fighting about a cleaning fee, a holdback with the lawyers, and it's going back and forth, it gets less exciting. It kind of puts a pall on it.
Yep.
And so really what I would say to listing agents is think about who's going to be taking care of that, and it is going to be the buyer's agent probably, because they want that experience to be really good. You don't want to have a big fight. I've done that. Maybe it's a murder complex, I don't know, but we'll get it cleaned. We'll get our cleaner in. I had my CRV full of stuff a couple of weeks ago, going off to the dump. And different dumps too, that's the other thing. You have to go to who takes the leftover paint. Then you have to put it in your garage until the Saturday hazardous waste depot, that's going. It can be a 3-day, and then the regular dump.
Yeah.
So this is what, do unto others it sounds overly religious. It's not. It's just a good life principle.
Oh, agreed.
Do that. Think about how you, like the times you've experienced that, how it made you feel. Don't do that to another agent. Because the one thing I know is it's not the buyer's responsibility.
No, and like I had a house that firmed up yesterday, so I sent an email, then I called them. I said, so garbage day is on Tuesday. So, and we close on the Monday. I said, so can you make sure all your garbage is out of the house for the Tuesday?
Yeah.
So they can come in?
Yeah.
And, make sure the lawn's, and going over those things. I'm calling the seller before closing. Did you get this done? This is done.
Yeah.
And because again, presentation, you just want someone to have a good feeling when they go in, and people just forget about that. And I know
they do, and
sucks.
it's really our responsibility. And, just an admission, I learned this because I did it. I didn't go and check the house, and you learn. That happens once. You are the listing agent, you realize you didn't prepare your seller. This is stuff we learn early on. Because oftentimes it isn't the seller's fault. Like, we do this every day. This might be a once in a lifetime or twice in a lifetime thing for a seller. So we have to say, this is what is expected. The other thing is look at your agreement, and in plenty of time, especially if you hear, the moving truck's coming next week, remind them, send them a screenshot. Here's the chattels clause. You're leaving the mirrors in your bathroom, because that just happened. And I had the night before, I'm getting a mirror just because it was, but I hadn't reminded them. That was not their fault. Even though it was in their agreement, there's a lot in those agreements.
Yes.
Yeah. So, in plenty of time, make sure that you send the email and you follow up with the call, and just understand there's so much going on for a seller that you really have to be very hands-on. And if it means hiring the cleaner yourself, hire the cleaner yourself.
I agree. Or just make the paying go. And if something happens at closing, the two agents need to work together, not the lawyers. Let's us work together, make it go away for both parties.
Yeah.
And because it was explained to me once, or I think maybe it was in a podcast, and they talked about Oprah, and she picks her guests up in a limo and she drives them back in a limo.
Yeah.
It's all about the experience.
It is.
And where other people in her position, they'll pick them up in the limo. Okay, the show's over, get your own way home.
Yeah.
But it's that experience that Oprah creates for her guest should be the same experience that we're creating for our sellers, for the buyers.
Well, it's thoughtful. When you're living your life thinking, how are others experiencing what I'm doing? It's really important that's the analogy I'm going to think of now. Are they coming in a limo, or like euphemistically, or going in a limo? But you know what, right now, if you looked in the back of my car, you would see a vacuum, a mop, and a bucket.
You're a good woman.
Sometimes you do what you got to do.
Yep, you do.
Yeah, and I've heard more people say, stay in your lane, and I'm like, that's my lane.
Yep.
Because it's what's
I
needed.
got in one client's house, I cleaned the stove, cleaned out the cupboards, and and I don't do that for everybody, but I call him my boyfriend. He's like in his 80s. I loved him.
Yeah.
And I clean it for him. That's what you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming out again today.
You're welcome.